Hi, this is Melanie for Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do a review of the Telugu film Dear Comrade, starring Vijay Deverakonda and Rashmika Mandanna. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do film reviews and trailer reactions to Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, and Hindi films. This film has been eagerly awaited, oh my gosh, for so long. It had that amazing teaser, which really did give us a flavor of what this movie was, because the teaser showed Vijay punching someone through a window, and then all of a sudden he had Rashmika in his arms, and he was in the rain, putting her out in the window and kissing her. That completely encapsulates a lot of the tone of the movie. Vijay, we have in our mind Arjun Reddy. That was my introduction to him, and that incredible anger that he can have, and just the power and intensity of his personality on film. He's also really good with comedy, which is what the first film that he did with Rashmika Mandanna was Gita Govindam, which I enjoyed. It just wasn't, the same intense experience that Arjun Reddy was. And then Vijay has done more, romantic comedies like Taxiwala and whatever. So he's been doing a variety of things. Before I saw this film, he did a really interesting interview with Anupama Chopra of Film Companion. So he was visiting Mumbai, and he seemed to be surprised that all of a sudden, the minute he arrived, he was getting all these phone calls for interviews, because I don't think he's used to arriving in Mumbai and being photographed by the paparazzi and whatever. Well, the reason he was in Mumbai is that Karan Johar wanted to see this film before it was released, and has already purchased the rights to remake this film in Hindi. So before it even came out, it had, the Karan Johar stamp. I mean, he's the one that bought Bahubali and brought that to the Hindi audience. So I found that really interesting. So I had just this heightened expectation, like, oh my gosh, it's getting this much attention. But anyway, during the interview, Vijay he's talked about starting a production company. Now, I don't think this film was what he was doing, but he was just saying some of the scripts that are coming to him, he really wants to encourage these young filmmakers, but he doesn't have time to do all of the films, so he's starting to make arrangements to help these young filmmakers along and get their scripts made. And I'm wondering if part of that was this, because this is a new debut director. He had been an assistant director on another film, but this is Bharat Kamma's first film. He wrote and directed Dear Comrade. Now, I knew it was going to be a love story. I knew that Vijay was going to play this angry young man kind of character. And in the trailer, the full trailer, there was a comment by his father saying something like, in all these fights, you have to mind what you're going to lose. I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly what he said, but you knew something was going to happen at the interval point, whatever. In the full trailer, we saw him in anguish, so we knew something tears them apart. And it's interesting that it is, in some ways, a similar setup to Arjun Reddy, of where you have this anger management issue in this young man who is the campus rowdy in charge of the student organization, and he's just all the opening scenes, we're seeing him being extremely violent. But it goes different directions than I could have possibly imagined. And the tagline on the poster says, "Fight for what you love." And I just thought that was going to be this personal relationship fight. I had no idea the second half was going to become a very powerful message movie. I don't want to spoil what happens. Probably you will hear about it, but just in case, I don't want to spoil what happens in the second half. I think you can guess some of the beats that are familiar of a love story like this, where, you know, the girl sees something violent and just says, I'm done, you know. Now, one interesting thing is that she is a state level cricket player. So there's amusing things introducing that I kept thinking, if she was really in this neighbor's family, they would all be hearing about it constantly if she was on a state team, and it wouldn't be a surprise, but okay. Their meet cute isn't, in fact, really cute. I enjoyed the whole build up to the romance. I really enjoyed the songs, especially the dancing songs. The second half went places I really wasn't expecting. I will just say that. Vijay's performance was exceptional. I thought Rashmika was very good. She was playing a kind of a role that was so different than Geeta and Geeta Govindam, and she had much more of a range of things to play than I was expecting. Let's just put it that way. You know, she was flirty and vivacious and teasing in the first half, and in the second half, she is going through a whole set of issues that I never expected this film to go into. However, the second half felt slow. I was literally looking at my watch like, I went to a late show, so, you know, with trailers and everything, started at 9:30, whatever we had for trailers, 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm looking at my watch at about midnight, like, really? How is this film going to be longer than 2.5 hours? Like, how long is this going to be? And it was almost 3 hours long. I didn't get out of the theater until 12:30 in the morning. So yeah, I'm recording this at 1 a.m. It was long, and it felt long. Sometimes you can have a 3-hour movie and you don't even realize how much time has passed because you're just so engrossed in the story. And there were twists in the second half. I really admired the message. I really admired some of the setup of the last scenes. But oh my gosh, the meandering path we took to get to those scenes. You know, there just should have been a better job of editing it down for pacing so that you felt like you got through some of these emotional beats quicker. Like I said, I really don't want to give away what happens in the second half. I'll just say I really admire that this filmmaker and Vijay and Rashmika signed on to a script like this, and now I can understand why Karan Johar, having seen the film, I can understand why Karan Johar is interested in making this, in remaking this in Hindi. In the same way, Sarat was an issue, very different kind of an issue. I do not want to say it's the same, but in the same way that Sarat was an issue movie with a compelling love story, I can see that he remade into Dhadak. But I have a feeling in the same way that Arjun Reddy, when it was made as Kabir Singh, they made him, the same director, but they made him trim it down a little bit. You know, first time director, and I just wonder if, because he had Vijay Deverakonda as the star, they were just like, do whatever you want. It can be as long as you want, and maybe there wasn't pressure to keep it a shorter length because they knew. I mean, my theater was packed. It was packed. Little kids, late. It didn't matter that it was a late show. It was packed of people, and I was sitting talking to someone who was saying, yeah, I'm here for every premiere, but my friends, they rarely come to the movies, and they're here. They're coming tonight, and he was saving seats for them. So this was an event movie for people. Since Bahubali, I think this is one of the first films to be released simultaneously in 4 languages. It was released in Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and Kannada. It's already been, the rights have been bought to do a Hindi re-release, not a dub, a remake. I do think it was an effective love story. I felt like, especially because it's Vijay, it felt so raw, felt so real. His emotions, just the way that he conveyed his pain, just everything he was going through, you just really felt like you knew everything. He's so expressive in his face. I felt like Rashmika also did a very good job. I felt like they had really good chemistry together. I enjoyed the love story. Again, my only issue is with the pacing. So I'm not giving this a perfect score or anything, but I definitely think it's a movie worth seeing, especially because of the message that I'm not going to tell you what it is, but the message in the second half is so important. There is some issues with mental health that I do think, I don't know. You know, we have different attitudes about medications and things like that for mental health issues for people in the United States. So I didn't completely buy all of that part, but then you discover why there are some mental health issues. I don't want to get into any more than that. So really compelling performances. Vijay's done it again. He makes the movie. You know, you just can't, you want to watch everything he's doing. He's so captivating on screen. I can't wait to see what this guy's going to do next, because he's just going from strength to strength. I really would love to know what you thought about this film. Please let me know in the comments below. I really honestly want to know what you thought about it, especially what you thought about some of the events that happened in the second half of the film. And if you agreed with me that it was a little slow, I'd love to know if it was just me or if you thought that too. Follow me on Twitter at PardeziYT. Subscribe here to Pardesi Reviews. And if you hit the bell when you subscribe, then you won't miss a single film review or trailer reaction.